what can that experience, what can that, that energy, the juice from the people in the building do for you guys as you start this run?
Yeah, I mean, we miss our fans. We miss all the fans around the NBA who haven't been able to watch us at full capacity. And we know how much they miss the sport of basketball in a live setting, and we miss them as well. So we can't wait to see them. We can't wait to provide a high level of basketball, both teams. And, we're going to do our best to show them what we're about.
Greg Logan, Newsday.
Hi, Kevin. Yesterday, I asked Kyrie about the decision you guys made 2 years ago to come here and what it meant to reach this point. But for you, it's been even more difficult coming, sitting out a year and coming back from that injury. So can you kind of try to put your personal experience into perspective of what this season has meant to you and how gratifying it is to get to this point and be in great position to do what you want to do?
I mean, it's great to be available. It's great to be out there playing a game that we all love, and especially after a rough year for not just me, but for everybody in general with COVID and pandemic and stuff. So, very grateful that we got this opportunity to play with each other and build something that's special. And it starts on Saturday. We haven't done anything yet, so it's not like we can reflect on all the stuff that we've been through, but it's more so like we glad we got this far as a group, and we're glad we continue to tread in the right direction, and we'll see what happens after this. So, being able to play the game and do life with guys that I would call, brothers in this league is pretty fun. It's a cherry on top.
Bruce Beck, NBC New York.
Kevin, with expectations high, do you go into this playoff series and do you go into the playoffs overall thinking about a title, or honestly, do you just follow it one game at a time, one series at a time, and go that route?
It's about one possession at a time. I think if you lock in on each possession and do your job, everybody has to do their job in order for you to play well out there and execute. So me as an individual, try to do my best at what coach and my teammates need me to do. And if we all had that mindset, then we'll be in good shape, not try to think too far down the line because nothing is guaranteed. And just, try to control the possession that's in front of us and see what happens.
Alex Schiffer, The Athletic.
Hey, Kevin, I got two for you. Just what's your general thoughts on Boston? I mean, Steve said it really well. You played them 3 different times this year while having 3 different teams. So what stands out to you about them as they currently stand?
Well, they're a team that's been tested before in the playoffs, has had long runs. Multiple guys on their team have been a part of those runs, so the continuity plays a big factor into who they are. They play physical, and they move the basketball. So we got our work cut out for us. We respect this team. We know Jaylen Brown is injured as one of their key pieces, but they still rally behind each other and play extremely hard. So we know that in order for us to, be the best that we can be, we have to be locked in each and every possession. And, I'm looking forward to going out there and competing.
And then just without Jaylen, is there a guy outside of Tatum and Kemba you worry about maybe more than others, just given their role switching right now?
Yeah, they do it as a group. But, Evan Fournier is a big scorer who can explode and get you a high number of points. Tristan Thompson can affect the game, scoring the basketball through offensive rebounds and dirty points. Peyton Pritchard is shooting high clip this year from deep, and he can get going fast. So then they got a lot of guys that fill in and create extra possessions for you. Marcus Smart is a wild card that can golf and score and just create plays defensively. So we got to be locked in from top to bottom.
Malika Andrews, ESPN.
Kevin, I also have two for you. I'm wondering first, Steve has talked about you before as the best or one of the best defenders on this team, and defense is something we've talked about over the course of this season with you all. What do you put on yourself to try to set the tone defensively for this team, especially in a matchup like against someone like Tatum?
Well, just being in the right spots and competing, when it comes to a one-on-one situation, try to stay in between my man and the rim and try to get a good contest on shots, but also be there for my teammates when I'm not on the ball. And I think that's the most important thing is knowing I want my teammates to know that, I'm there for them. I want them to trust me out there on this defensive side of the ball, and I think that's most of it for me. And, but playing hard is a huge part of it, and being physical and knowing schemes, but just being trusted out there is the most important thing. That's what I'm thinking about when I go play.
And then secondly, just from a big picture perspective, you were on the sidelines last playoffs, right? You were still kind of working your way back. I'm wondering what perspective being back here now gives you on kind of the last 2 years from it, not so much joining the Nets perspective, but you and what you've been through in your first playoff since that injury.
I've really been reflecting or thinking about perspectives or what this means, or I'm just trying to go out there and work on my game and chill out when I'm at home. I mean, I'm not really doing too much deep thinking on this, So I just try to focus on being the best that I can, being healthy enough to play at a high level every day I wake up, and and we'll see what happens after that.
Thanks, Kevin.
Gary Washburn, Boston Globe.
Hey, Kevin. Jayson Tatum's another young player who said he looked up to you when he was a kid. And what do you think of his game? And what is it like to constantly face players who want to out KD? Because you've kind of shifted from the young superstar to now kind of the OG for some of these young guys. How does that feel?
I don't even think about it like that. I mean, I know teams want to beat us, and I know that I'm a huge part of the team, so I don't really look at it as these guys want this one-on-one matchup with me. It's more so they play extremely hard and play with a sense of urgency, so I know they respect us as a group. And these guys are going. They're not trying to out KD me. They got their own version of what they bring to the floor, and JT is one of those guys that brings his own version of scoring and defending and passing and just being an overall basketball player. He brings that to the floor, and it's unique. And we all appreciate it and we respect it. And I know how tough it is. It's going to be out there each possession. I'm looking forward to that challenge.
Christian Winfield, New York Daily News.
Hey, what's going on, Kevin? I also got two for you. First, when you are coming into a series and you're probably going to be the chief defender on a guy like Tatum, do you kind of have to now watch, okay, well, you're defending the guy on the other team who's going to try to score as many points, but you also have to try to put your production on the offensive end? Do you have to look how you balance that at all in terms of energy exerted on defense versus energy exerted on offense, or is it all the same?
I mean, when you start overthinking like that, then you just take, I tend to, for me personally, if I start thinking too much about my responsibilities out there, I tend to lose focus a little bit, I guess. So it's more so just letting the game come, just flowing. I've been a part of so many games in my career, so I kind of got an understanding of what how a game flows and the momentum and stuff. So just coming in with a clear mind to just focus on a couple of things, which is playing extremely hard and taking the right shots, and everything else will fall into place after that. So I'm trying to do too much thinking. I know how special these players are we're playing against, and I know how tough it's going to be in the playoffs. So I'm just trying to focus on being the best that I can be each possession on both ends.
And second, where you mentioned Tristan Thompson and just how much of a force he could be on the paint, grabbing rebounds, offensive glass. Do you think that DJ might be someone who can help a lot in terms of that matchup in the series coming forward?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's a matter of how things flow and what the coaching staff does. And DJ's always ready. He's a true pro, so whenever we need him, he's gonna be there for us. So, but like I said, we're gonna have to do a good job on Tristan as a group, and looking forward to the challenge.
Zach Braziller with the Post.
Kevin, I know you said it's possession by possession. You guys are still though considered the favorite by many people. Do you look at it that way? Do you think this team should be considered the favorite to at least get to the finals?
We don't, as players, don't think about stuff like that. We know that's your job and that's how y'all view stuff. But we know how tough it is to play this game every day, and we in here every day. So we got a different vantage point to y'all. So I understand with the stuff on paper and how teams look and how accomplished the players on our teams are. But for us, we respect the game and our opponents too much to come in and say, look, we expected to win this. Nah, we coming out there and understand that we can be beat if we don't lock in. So we got a good opportunity with a lot of great players on this team that mix well with each other, but we still got to go out there and do the work.
Brian Mahoney, AP.
Hey, Kevin, I've heard, guys talk about how hard it is to make a trade during the season and you don't get the practice time and the training camp and all that. But, you know, when James got here, you guys kind of took off and you stayed going well, even with all the guys going in and out of the lineup. How impressive is it that he kind of was able to figure that out without the benefit of having time together in an off season and, you know, having a consistent lineup, it seemed like, for any stretch of time?
Well, I expect that from James. If he doesn't know how to adapt so fast as a 12-year veteran, then I would look at him kind of crazy. I mean, that's your job, is to continue to adapt and grow and learn more about the game of basketball. And that's what James has done. He's had so many different teammates and played in different schemes, different styles on offense and defense. So if he hasn't learned anything in that time, then something's wrong. So I was expecting him to come in here and, you know, it's going to take some time to get to know guys personally and know they like the ball and stuff. But I expect it to happen fairly quickly as far as, you know, him getting comfortable, you know. So we're going to keep building as a group, but him individually as a player, he's so smart and so well-traveled in this league that, you know, I knew that he'll start to connect with us as individuals, his teammates, pretty fast.
Last question will go back to Greg Logan.
Kevin, the last dozen or so games, you've averaged just under 7 assists per game. And I wondered if that facilitating was a reaction to the way defenses are playing you, or was it also partly because James missed a lot of those games and you felt the need to, that like you could become a bit more of a playmaker?
I don't approach the games like that, man. I don't approach it and saying, like, James is out, let me go make up for his assists, or Kai's out, I got to score more. Like, no, I just let the game flow. And teams would, you know, if I catch it in my scoring spot, I look to score first, you know. But if a team's going to come over there and send 2 guys before I even make a move, then I'll gladly pass the ball. So I just try to keep the game as simple as possible and not overthink it and try to let it flow. So I spend so much time on the court that I should, you know, be ready for any situation. So I try to approach it that way.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.